Hey everyone, Travis Harrison, realtor with Woods Bros Realty here in Lincoln. This one is specifically for people buying, selling, or tracking real estate in East Lincoln. I pulled the full April 2026 data across 5 East Lincoln zip codes, all residential, every price point, and broke it down by price band and by zip code so you can see exactly where your situation sits. There are 5 completely different markets happening in East Lincoln right now, and where you are determines your strategy entirely. So let's get into it. So here's what we're covering. We start with the $119,000 spread. East Lincoln's gap between asking and committing. It's bigger than the citywide number and it anchors everything else. Then the April snapshot. A full price band breakdown, a leverage map by price range, and something new this month, a zip code level breakdown across all 5 East Lincoln zips. That's where this gets specific. Then we close with what I'm watching heading into summer. The $119,000 spread. 3 bars, 3 different numbers that tell the whole story. Blue bar, median active ask, 596,620. That's what sellers are pricing at right now across East Lincoln. The orange bar is the median pending amount, 477,450. That's where buyers are actually going under contract. The green bar, April actual sold median, 394,108. That's what closed last month. So you have a $119,000 gap between asking and committing and another $83,000 between pending and actually sold. What that tells you, there is significant inventory priced well above where buyers are willing to go, and the homes that are moving are not at the median ask. They're 100,000 or more below it. The spread is wider than the citywide Lincoln number, and East Lincoln has a concentration of higher end listings that aren't clearing, and that creates very specific opportunities and risk depending on your price range. And we'll get precise about that here in a few minutes. So let's look at the April headline numbers. 8 numbers worth knowing. The April median sold 394,000, all residential, all price points in East Lincoln. Median days on market for pendings, 5 days. Buyers who found the right home at the right price committed in under a week. Pending to active ratio, 0.78. Strong overall signal, but it hides enormous variation by zip and price band. We'll get into that. Median dollars per square foot on April closings, $172. Your baseline for evaluating whether a specific home is reasonably valued. The bottom row, 244 active listings, 190 pending, 90 homes closed in April, and 1,071 homes sold over the last 12 months at a 425,000 median. That 12-month sold count is your context. 1,071 transactions at 425,000 tells you this is a deeply liquid market, even if specific segments are stalling. Days on market for pendings, November through April. November, 10 days. We ticked up to 20 in January, the winter slowdown. February began dropping to 10, March to 8, April to 5. That compression is real. The right home at the right price is going under contract in under a week. What stands out? There's a significant gap between the 5-day pending days on market and the 30-day median active days on market. That gap tells you the difference between homes that sell and homes that sit. It almost always comes down to the same 2 things, price and lot. The 5-day homes had both right. Median sold price by month, November through April. November peaked at 480,000, likely higher end closings from fall transactions. Dropped through winter to 400,000 in January. February bounced to 436, and March and April settled in at 390 and 394. The 390 to 395K range in the last 2 months is telling you where the real spring demand is concentrating, not the high end, but the mid-range. The most important takeaway, sellers pricing to November are pricing to a market that no longer exists. The last 2 months are your benchmark. Now let's open this up by price band. Active versus pending, side by side by price. The ratio table on the right tells the whole story. Under 300,000, 10 active, 17 pending, the ratio 1.7. More buyers than homes. 300 to 400, 28 active, 50 pending, ratio of 1.79. The highest in all of East Lincoln. Demand is significantly outpacing supply. 400 to 500, 36 active, 39 pending, ratio 1.08 is essentially balanced. 500 to 700, 95 active, 67 pending, ratio 0.71. Moving, but inventory is building. 700K plus, 75 active, 17 pending, a ratio of 0.23. For every 4 homes listed, only 1 is under contract. That table is your strategic guide. Your price range determines your playbook entirely. So here's the active inventory distribution visually, looking at April data. 70% of everything listed in East Lincoln right now is priced above 500K, but buyers are concentrating well below that. 300 to 400, 50 buyers for 28 homes. Sellers in that range priced correctly have offers. Above 700, 31% of all active inventory, 17 pending, 75 listings chasing a thin buyer pool. The mismatch between where inventory is concentrated and where buyers are committing is the defining characteristic of this market. So where does leverage actually sit across East Lincoln? 5 price bands, 5 completely different realities. Under 300 and 300 to 400 seller leverage. Ratios of 1.7 and 1.79. More buyers than homes. Sellers priced correctly are getting offers fast, and buyers need to come in clean and decisive. 400 to 500 balanced, 1.08. Neither side really has a structural advantage. 500 to 700, it's shifting toward buyers, 0.71 ratio, 30-day active days on market. We're seeing inventory build and buyers are gaining options. 700K plus, buyer leverage, 0.23 ratio, 44 days average active days on market, the clearest buyer opportunity right now in East Lincoln. Know your band, your strategy should match it, not the one your neighbor is in. So now let's go one level deeper by zip code. Same active versus pending analysis, but now broken out by each of the 5 East Lincoln zip codes. 68505 near East, 21 active, 21 pending. It's a 1.0 ratio. It's a seller market. Entry level demand holding strong. 68516. So this is in Southeast Lincoln. 104 active, 111 pending, a 1.07 ratio. Seller's market. This is the largest zip in East Lincoln. More transactions are happening here than anywhere else. 3-day pending, days on market. The 68520, the East Corridor. 27 active, 13 pending, 0.48 ratio. It's shifting. High-end inventory around 755,000 median ask. Buyers are taking time. 68526. This is in far Southeast Lincoln. 58 active, 33 pending, 0.57 ratio. A shifting 50-day average active days on market tells you that supply is outpacing demand at this price point. 68527, Northeast, 35 active, 12 pending, 0.34 ratio. Buyer leverage, the clearest negotiating position in all 5 zips. The signal badges on the right give you the one-word summary for each, but the numbers behind them are what matter. This chart puts the ask versus sold gap in context by zip. 68505, active median 350, 12 months sold median 270. It's a $45,000 gap. Entry level pressure is real here. 68516, the active median is 577K. The 12-month sold, 415K. It's a 162 gap. This is the widest spread in East Lincoln, and sellers in 68516 are pricing significantly above where transactions are closing, and that gap will either compress through price adjustment or continued sitting, or the market will adjust whole. 68520, active median 755K. 12 months sold, median 682K, a $73,000 gap. The market is closer to fair value here, but buyers are still taking 24 days to commit. 68526, nearly at parity. 625K active median versus 620K sold median, the tightest spread of the 5 zips. 68527, 600K active, 537K sold, a $63,000 gap. Combined with the 0.34 ratio, buyers here have real room to negotiate. This table puts all 6 key metrics side by side for every zip. I want to highlight a few things. 68516 Southeast, the 3-day pending days on market, that is the fastest moving zip in East Lincoln. When the right home hits in 68516 at the right price, it's gone almost immediately. But the 1.07 ratio also tells you the sellers need to be precise. Buyers in this zip have done their homework. 68527 Northeast Lincoln, 0.34 ratio, 26-day pending, $181 per square foot. This zip has the most buyer favorable combination of any zone in East Lincoln right now. 68520, $218 per square foot. It's the highest of all 5 zips, and that's your premium for the new corridor inventory. It's worth it for the right buyer, but with a 0.48 ratio and 24-day pending days on market, there is room to take your time. So let me be specific about the 700K plus opportunity. 75 active listings, 17 pending, 44 days average days on market, a 0.23 ratio. 4 things buyers can do right now. They can negotiate price directly, the data supports it, request concessions, closing costs, rate buy downs, pre-close repairs, take time to compare, and look specifically at homes with 60 plus days on market. Those are the strongest negotiating positions available, potentially. This window exists because inventory has accumulated faster than buyer demand at this price point. It won't stay open forever, but right now a prepared buyer above 700K in East Lincoln has more leverage than they've had in the last 2 years. The opposite side, 300 to 400K spotlight, 1.79 ratio, 50 buyers for 28 homes, 15-day active days on market. The risk here isn't demand, it's overpricing. Buyers in this demand are informed. They know exactly what 375K looks like versus 395K, and they're not overpaying because there's competition. Price it correctly and you get offers fast. Price it above where the market is and watch those 50 buyers walk past you. So 3 things I'm watching in East Lincoln heading into summer. 1, will the 700K plus sellers start adjusting? Active median is 597. April sold median is 394. That's a $200,000 gap. Sellers still anchored to 2024 expectations will need to recalibrate or continue watching 5-day closings happen in zips well below them. 2, does 300 to 400K stay undersupplied? 68505 and the lower end of 68516 have real buyer demand with thin supply. And any correctly priced new listing in that range in East Lincoln will move fast. If you've been thinking about listing in that band, the timing is good as it's been. And 3, what does 68516 Southeast do throughout summer? It's the largest zip, the most active, and has the widest ask to sold gap at 162,000. If that gap starts closing through seller price reductions or buyer willingness to go higher, it will signal the overall direction of the East Lincoln market. That's the zip I'll be watching closely in May and June. Bottom line on East Lincoln: one market, 5 zip codes, 4 completely different strategies. Under 400, seller's market. More buyers than homes in most of these zips. Price it right and you'll have activity. 400 to 500, balanced. Both sides need to execute. 500 to 700, it's shifting towards buyers with inventory building and days on market rising. 700K plus, buyer leverage is real, a 0.23 ratio. The data is working in your favor if you're buying in this range. If you want to talk through what this means for your specific situation, reach out. 308-641-2967 or travis.harrison@woodsbros.com. I also have started a free monthly newsletter. It's detailed in the description, called the Harrison Real Estate Brief. I'll have the May numbers next month, and I update this among other things. So thanks for watching. If you like this, give a like, drop a comment, share it with someone that you know. Have a wonderful day.